Happy New Year, happy good year, happy blessed year. It's your man, Royal Perspective. I hope everybody is safe, blessed. I know the pandemic is going crazy, it's going wild, and I'm back. I had a couple weeks off to really decompress and get away, and I'm back. I want to talk about my boy Lonzo Ball. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm like, it's like Christmas. I remember it's like Christmas 1992, when I got my first drum set and my first boom box. Oh my gosh, Lonzo Ball is back after 2 weeks of being out. The last time we saw Lonzo was December 20th against the Houston Rockets, in which Lonzo Ball scored 19 points. And in the span of Zach being out and DeMar being out, Lonzo really displayed such an amazing, well-rounded and three-tier or three-level game. Like Lonzo was attacking the basket. He showed evidence that he can actually post up and shoot off, his left shoulder, turn the shoulder and shoot, fade away. I was like, man, Lonzo, that's what I'm talking about. Lonzo was shooting off the dribble. And one of the biggest gripes about Lonzo and criticism was the fact that he never gets to the free throw line. But Lonzo was getting to the free throw line, y'all. And not only that, he was knocking it down. Lonzo Ball was proving all his critics wrong. I mean, the man has the proclivity to be a hard worker, which is indicative of Lonzo Ball's growth and his potential. I wanted to talk about what do we expect from Lonzo coming off a 2-week quarantine period in which Lonzo Ball was out. I was doing some research trying to figure out, did Lonzo Ball get the opportunity to actually do any cardiovascular exercises? Was he able to get in the gym? And I didn't quite see any evidence of what Lonzo Ball was actually doing during this quarantine period. But I want to speak about what do we realistically expect from Lonzo Ball as they play the 7-30 Orlando Magics. If you know Lonzo, then you know that Lonzo is a very unselfish player. That's just his natural disposition. So with that being said, and his innate ability just to want to be a team-oriented player, Lonzo understands the moment. I mean, Zach is having an amazing season. DeMar has been nonchalantly just making history, shooting one-legged three-pointers and shooting three-pointers in the corner over two defenders in a historical fashion. Not to mention that Vooch is now figuring out his niche and how he can really be effective within the current dynamic of the offense. Not to mention, which I'm going to expand upon later, Kobe White. Kobe's been averaging double digits in the past 6 games. So how would that dynamic, that dichotomy between Kobe's rise and Lonzo's coming back in off safety protocols, how would that actually work? Again, the only stat that Lonzo Ball truly cares about is wins and losses. Doesn't necessarily care about, he's been on record as a matter of fact to even corroborate this statement. The only stat he cares about is wins and losses, right? So I don't really expect for Lonzo Ball to be aggressive tonight. I just think that he's going to try to get a feel for what's currently transpiring within the chemistry of the offense and kind of see how he can find his role. I hate the fact to even consider Lonzo Ball role, but just understanding his how can he capitalize upon his talents within the offense, within the dynamic scores of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and the finally emerging Nikola Vucevic. Now here's what I do not want to see. If Lonzo Ball comes out and has a 10-point game, and Kobe comes back around and has a 20-point game, I don't really want to see a comparison between the two. I mean, Kobe is a dynamic scorer. We're not going to deny that. But at the same time, Lonzo Ball is coming off, safety protocol, has been really inactive for the past, 14 days when you think about that, right? So I don't really want to see this whole duality between the two. Instead, I just want to see fans have a realistic expectation for what Lonzo Ball will do, knowing his natural disposition. Now, I want to talk about Kobe White. Kobe's numbers are amazing in his past 5 starts. I mean, Kobe's averaging 2 20-point games consecutively these past couple games. He's also, as I said before, has averaged double digits in the past 5 out of 6 games. Believe it or not, Kobe's shooting an amazing 47% from the field. Not to mention, Kobe's shooting 48% from the three. Furthermore, Kobe's shooting a respectable 83% from the three free throw line. Now, Kobe's role is point guard. And when you have a point guard that doesn't turn the ball over a lot, that's just a blessing to have in the NBA. Now, Kobe's only turning the ball over about 1.5 times per game. These are numbers that at one point in time fans were saying that Kobe's washed. We should trade Kobe. Man, if we can get Kobe to actually give that level of productivity in his role as sixth man, the Chicago Bulls would be unstoppable. Now, I'm a bit concerned because Lonzo is a high IQ basketball player. I think that him getting accustomed to his role in the offense again, I think he'll fit in perfectly. My concern is how can we maximize Kobe's productivity off the bench? Will we still see this level of output from Kobe on the second unit? How would that fit with the rise of Ayo? How would that fit when we get all of our horses back? I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan. I'm a big Lonzo Ball fan. How we get this roster, particularly Kobe White, when Lonzo and all these particular people, when Alex comes back, Alex Caruso's still out with a mid-foot sprain. So when we get all these guys back, how can we still get Kobe to be that prolific scorer in which he is, and not to mention have that limited amount of turnovers that he actually displayed in this small sample size, in this starting role. Again, my expectations are clear. I don't want to see any Kobe versus Lonzo comparisons when we know that Lonzo cares about one stat and one stat only. How can he help the team when you got two dynamic scorers, a big man that could, when he's on his game, right? When the defense has to plan for Nikola Vucevic, as I've been saying before, you can't, in the NBA, you need a big man that's the defense has to plan for, right? Hence why I will often say Nikola Vucevic is the perfect big man for the Chicago Bulls at this particular junction. What's not broken, don't fix it. Leave it where it's at. Another story for another day. But to conclude this video, I will say fans need to have realistic expectations. The man is coming off literally 2 weeks of inactive basketball activities as far as what we know. We don't know his level of conditioning, and we know that NBA conditioning is different from running on a cardio machine, right? You can't necessarily duplicate NBA action on a cardiovascular exercise machine, treadmill, etc. You have to actually have in-game conditioning. So knowing that being said, couple that with Lonzo's natural ability to be an unselfish player, have realistic expectations for tonight. And by all means, do not start this whole Kobe White versus Lonzo Ball comparisons. These two can gel only if, as I said earlier, Kobe can be effective and understand his role. He can best serve this team as a sixth man, because you cannot hate on Kobe's ability to actually put the ball in the basket. And you got to also say that the past couple wins, even though DeMar closed those out, the Bulls wouldn't have won no game without Kobe's productivity on the offensive end. So you have to give Kobe White his flowers. But I will often say this, for this Chicago Bulls team to work, we need to understand that how this team actually gels. And upon the return of Alex Caruso and Alfonso McKinney, I know that Javonte Green's out as well. Just getting everybody the opportunity to actually gel and having that time, this team can really be a playoff contender. And I can often say the ceiling is unlimited if Lonzo Ball comes back and duplicates what he did prior to his outing. This is your boy, Royal Perspective. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be churning out more videos to come. I'm a Lonzo Ball fan. I'm a NBA fan. I'm just a regular sports fanatic, and I hope you guys enjoy my perspective. Peace. Have a blessed day.